but you're welcome to start early. Excellent. And then I'm going to go live on Instagram as well, I believe. Maybe not. Oh, well. I thought I was, but I'm not. Okay. So I'm live on some of my platforms. We'll see how that goes. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am joined here by my wonderful guest speakers who are speaking at the 3-day Ignite Your Speaker Superpower event. I've made an event that's very difficult to say just to test everybody's tongue twister abilities. And so I'm joined by 3 of my wonderful 5 guests. Kimberly Crow and Katie Joey will also be speaking, but they're not here right now. So I'm going to just introduce my wonderful speakers. You all know me. My name is Danielle Benson. I am your voice and speaking coach, and we're going to go in speaking order. So, Rich, I'm going to get you to introduce yourself first.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here and to be speaking at the Ignite Your Speaker Superpower event. And I don't think it's a tongue twister. I don't think it's but I'm different, maybe. Anyway, for 47 years now, I have been defining and languaging brands and launching them. And for years, I did that with large companies. And then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. But I came back to branding for individuals. So for the last 8 going on 9 years at Rich Brands, we work with individuals who are driven by the impact they know they can make on others through the work they do, through their business, through their gifts, through their calling, however they see it, and help them re-evolve the brand they must become to reach their higher level impacts. They know there's more. They know there's more in their future. And so we're evolving individual brands here. And I have a publishing company. We help them conceive, write books as stakes in the ground to move their brand forward. So it's a lot of fun. So that's who I am. And there's a lot more to the story, but like particularly why I do what I do. I believe that the people who resonate with impacts that are in their heart that they want to make on other people, I believe that God put those in their heart. So in some way, this is God's work. So it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
There,
Yes.
I've said it all.
It's
That's who
work.
I am and why I do what I do. But it's a blessing for people's business and for their lives. So Rich from Rich Brands.
I'm so glad to have you on my speaker guest. It's not
Glad
a
to be here,
panel,
Daniel.
my speaker roster in this week. Thank you so much for being here, Rich. And
Yep.
Melody Ann, some of you may recognize from previous times that we have worked together. Melody Ann is an old friend. I'd love to get you to introduce yourself, Melody.
Thank you, Danielle. I am Danielle's young friend, just being clear. Thank you, Danielle, so much.
Like that.
Thank you, Danielle, so much. And thanks. Hey, everyone out there. I'm super excited to be speaking on Wednesday, and I hope you can come and listen, because if you have a problem with content, if you think, oh, I've already said that, I can't say that again, things like that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. I know Danielle's going to ask us to talk about that. So because I'm talking about that because I am the founder of Author Nation. And what Author Nation does is it helps experts, professionals, people who have a lot of really complex information that they want to distill into a book that is engaging and transformative for the reader. We work a lot with, for example, doctors, so people who just have all this information, and speakers are one of those people. They have tons of information. What do I put in a book? Where do I put it? How many books do I have? We answer all of those questions, and we help people from the seed of an idea to profitability. We go the entire, what's the word? Rainbow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say rainbow because that's the word that came to my mind. The entire rainbow from point A to point B. And so that is what Author Nation does. And me personally, I've been working in publishing forever, since I worked with Oxford University Press back in the 90s in South America, when I was even younger than I am now, and I loved traveling and working all around the world, and that was my very beginnings in publishing. And I've worked in every aspect of publishing: ghostwriting, copy editing, developmental editing, marketing, teaching the language. I've done it all, which is why I, Kate, put it all together into Author Nation. And I'm so excited to be talking to you about content on Wednesday.
And don't let Melody fool you into thinking that she's some dry academic, because some of you may remember a couple of years ago, she did a one-woman show that she wrote and I just helped direct and get it up on stage. And actually, Matthias Martins had a part in that as well. So Matthias, last but not least, Melody, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself.
She doesn't come across as a dry academic.
No, I was just teasing.
There's a spark there for sure.
Perfect. So Matthias Martins, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. You may know Matthias is my wonderful partner and also a master storyteller, and he is going to talk about who he is first, and then we're going to go around and talk about what we're going to be speaking about.
All right. Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Matthias. I'm glad that was mentioned. The thing about Devil's Daughter, the show that that Melody worked on. So a little bit about me. I'm from Yukon Territory. I live in Vancouver now. I've had a lot of experiences that I am experiences of not knowing, entering a room or like a context and being confused about what other people were saying, and feeling like I was not part of a joke that they were in on. And that has been something that's motivated me over the course of my life to understand what allows people to connect with each other. So my interest is storytelling, and I pursue that in a lot of different ways. I write fiction. I also consult on other people's fiction, like for example, and generally storytelling, like with Devil's Daughter, the theater performance that Melody Owen put on. It was a very inspiring moment for all of us working together on that. Yeah, so what I find most compelling about storytelling is getting into the question of what's the uncertainty, what's the question at the heart of the action of the story. And that applies in fiction, and it also very much applies in people's own lives at the same time. So when you're telling your own story, what I like to explore with people is, what does your own story make you feel? What does it make you ask? And how did asking that question in the moment of the events that you are living through, how did that change you? And how did that cause the mystery of yourself to unfold into the person that you are now? So that's a brief summary of what I like to do and what I like to talk about with people.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Matthias. If you are, where is your book available, The Goer?
Yes, I wrote a book. Yeah, I wrote a fiction book, The Goer, which is available on LeanPub. LeanPub.com/the-goer, I think. But it's been a long time since I've talked about that one. I'm also the author of the book How to Do Things with Stories, where I elaborate my general theory about how to craft stories, and in particular how to craft stories for impact. So I like some of the stuff that, I was inspired by the things that you were saying, Rich, about branding for companies, and I think there's probably some overlap in our thinking there about the idea of what you find most compelling to do is something that emerges out of you and it doesn't feel like work.
Yep.
I see that in the work that I do with people as well.
Excellent. Lovely. Thank you so much, Matthias. And Kimberly Crow has joined us. Hello, hello. Lovely
He's
to
a
see
piece.
you.
He's a piece of
Super
work.
excited to be here.
I gotta bring my energy up because I know she's gonna bring it to the room. Uh, I know. So thank you so much. We've just been going around and introducing ourselves, and then I'm gonna ask the next question. So Kimberly, you're on perfect time. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself, and then we're gonna go around and talk about.
Absolutely. Hi, folks. For those of you who haven't met yet, I'm delighted to meet you today, but even more delighted to meet you at Danielle's event. Please come. It's going to be a rocking good time. If we've already met and you're in my community, you definitely need to come to this event. It's so inexpensive. It's so accessible. It's so ready. It's going to be 3 days of amazingness. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm delighted to meet you. I'm Kimberly Crow. I'm an international inspirational public speaker. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've launched lots of courses, classes, and things that you all probably have done as well. And I believe that the very best way to get seen and heard and build a base of loyal, raving fans is by getting on a stage and grabbing a microphone and sharing a little bit about who you are and what you're up to in the world. I've had the privilege of being on over 5,000 stages, including TEDx in Las Vegas. I run Speakers Playhouse, which is a weekly online event. I run Potapalooza, which is a 3 times annual event. I do the Influencers Cruise, which is really a cruise that goes in the Mediterranean, or I'm sorry, the Caribbean. One day the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and we do keynoting camp as well. So if you're willing to make money by speaking and make a difference by speaking, you're going to be in the right place, hanging out with Danielle and me this week.
And if you're in my folks, my community, you definitely know about Kimberly because I often share her information when people are asking, where do I speak? I'm like, oh my goodness, go to Speakers Playhouse, go to Potapalooza. It is so much fun. So now you get to experience her even more because she's going to be our first speaker tomorrow at lunch tomorrow. Woo. All right. So speaking of speaking, let's talk about what you guys are speaking about. And we're going to go in speaker order. So Kimberly, I'm actually going to ask you to speak again. And then we're going to go Kimberly, Rich, Melody, Matthias. Oh, I like the doing a little dance move there. So if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about what you'll be speaking about, because this is a speakers event, what are you going to be sharing to let them know what you have to offer?
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about how to make speaking profitable. So we will talk about 4 categories of stages, virtual and in person. It's not the medium, it's the category of stages. We're going to talk about 4 different categories of stages that you can profit from and how to maximize the profit from each one. And if you're good, I'll give you a secret 5th stage. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow.
So everyone be good. You got to get the Santa's watching if you're naughty or nice already. It's December now. So everyone be good tomorrow. Excellent. So Rich, I believe you're next. Can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be speaking about?
Well, I'd love to. And I wish that I could say this is going to be in my upcoming book, because everybody's talking about books. So my upcoming book is Impact Driven Branding, 7 Steps to Ensure Your Brand Impacts People's Lives in the World. And I'm probably one of the few people who teaches that worldwide. So tomorrow, I'm going to be speaking about something that's part aha moment, part teaching and stories. The name of the speech is The Clarity with Which Your Brand Speaks Shapes Its Impact. I'm going to unwrap what that means. Clarity is missing from most brands and they fall flat. And I mean most brands, big ones, small ones. It's missing, and if they fall flat, that could be you. It probably is. It's like, so listen tight. Okay, so we're going to talk about what does clarity mean and what kinds of clarity are often missing and how you can prevent that. And the clarity with which your brand speaks. Speaks includes speaking on stages, like Kimberly is so famous for, and Danielle helps prepare people to do. And Matthias sits around and is fascinated by how people connect when they speak, right? Is that right? And then Melody's ready to write their books. But speaks includes everything. And so we're going to talk about the way a brand is consistent across the board, either builds trust or it breaks trust. Okay. And you will come away with a different understanding and a healthy one that will bless your business and I believe your life about your brand and maybe the brand you will become or the brand you must become to make those impacts you really want to make. Cool deal. I don't enjoy this at all. So there won't be any energy or passion behind this tomorrow. But
No fun.
I'm telling you, after 47 years of doing this, it's straight talk that you can trust and deep experience you can count on. And that's what you're going to get.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rich. And Rich is speaking on Wednesday. Kimberly is speaking on Tuesday. Rich and Melody are speaking on Wednesday. And Katie and Matthias are speaking on Thursday. Melody, I'm going to ask you to introduce what you're talking about. Introduce yourself. What you're going to be speaking about on Wednesday.
Thanks, Danielle. Yes, I'll be talking about content, of course. So I'm going to be saying, say it once, share it everywhere. And we're first going to deal with some of the things that I hear coming up, like, oh, I said that already. I can't say it again. I said it in my book. I can't say it in my talk. I think I'm putting everyone to sleep. And I scroll through looking for content, and I just land up doom scrolling, if I can talk. And
That's exactly how you feel, though.
Yes. And other things like that I constantly hear people saying to me, and why they can't come up with content, and they spend way too long trying to figure out what to say. And then once we talk about that, we're going to just talk a little bit about the whole idea of content. I want to kind of shift your mindset and how you're thinking about it. So when you're done listening to me, you'll go, I know what to do. I can do this. I'm no longer overwhelmed. I'm no longer freaking out. It's really a mindset shift. And then I'm actually going to take you through a flow of content. If you were to write a book, where does the content for the book come from? What content do you put out when you're writing the book? And then, what do you do with it afterwards? We're actually going to go through a whole flow. And that is what you can expect on Wednesday. Thanks, Danielle.
Excellent. Thank you. And on Thursday, we have Matthias Martens speaking. He does do nonfiction as well, but I believe his talk is going to be primarily focused on his specialty in fiction, because speakers are always asking me, how do I bring more stories into my talk? And Matthias Martens, I believe that's your specialty.
I believe that's true. I would say it's still going to be nonfiction, because it's still usually going to be stories that people tell about themselves,
that's
but
true.
creatively told. So more on that end of the scale. So my talk title is Tell Your Story in Moments. So what I'm interested in, as I mentioned in my introduction, is how to use stories to connect and to communicate. So generally, I think people understand that you're using a story to impart knowledge, but ultimately, if you really want to make knowledge stick, like impart something that is going to have a life in the mind of the audience once you've delivered it, you need to engage on an emotional level, and you need to give them the experience of what it is like to be engaging with that content, whatever it may be. So if you're using a story to explain something, then that is one category of strategies. Or if you're simply, and maybe more importantly, if you're using a story to show the world what you're about and what you plan to do, what matters to you. Generally, if you're gonna try to connect with people, if you're gonna work hard to get a message across, it's because you really deeply care about that message. And I'm going to be talking about how to use the details of your own life to bring out that passion, communicate the passion in yourself, and evoke that same passion in others.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I mean, if anyone's been watching my YouTube channel, I've been ranting quite a lot recently about the difference between having to tell a full story in a talk and just being able to use storytelling elements to highlight something in a talk, because those are different things. They're both very useful. We want to use both of them, but we don't need to We don't need to always tell a full story. So that's going to be exciting. So I am just going to wrap it up now. Thank you all so much for being here. I can't wait for everything to get started. We're going to have so much fun eradicating stage fright, really clocking into who we are, how we can bring our magic and our essence and our weird, quirky wonderfulness out onto stage in a way that feels comfortable and authentic and confident. And these wonderful experts are going to help us. So I'm just going to ask you one last time, go around. What is the thing you are looking forward to the most over the next 3 days with us at the Speaker Superpower event? Kimberly, I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm going to have to say I'm going to have fun, because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. So I'm going to have fun with you, Danielle, and all these amazing speakers. Plus, the audience who is coming is going to add almost an unbelievable amount of joy. So it's going to be fun. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing.
100%. I love it. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Rich, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the aha moments and the jaw drops when people go, "Oh my, I never thought of my brand in that way before." Bong. Okay. And then how all the things connect, starting with branding and through all the aspects of marketing. There'll be a lot of jaw drops, but there'll be some really cool aha moments. And I'm just excited. And I guess I am on Wednesday, am I? I'm not tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about being on the Ignite Your Speaker Superpower event. That's just so exciting.
Thank you so much, Rich.
Because everybody has one.
It's true. It's true. We all do. Well, I think anyone that I meet, there's got to be some very boring people living under a rock who don't. But everyone that I've met certainly does have a speaker superpower that's just ready to come out. So I'm excited to see what happens. Melody, what are you looking forward to?
Well, you know, I love community, and this is going to be a brilliant community. So I'm so looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the other speakers' talks. I'm always here to learn new things. And I'm super excited about the hot seats, Danielle. Like the hot seats. I do hot seats with my clients, and it's the best, right? You just bring your nugget, your obstacle, and then we just like blow that apart for you. And you walk away going, "Oh, I can do this." I love hot seats. Can't wait.
I love them too. We're going to have lots of hot seats. It's training, hot seat, training, hot seat, training, hot seat. That's how it works. And Matthias, what are you looking forward to?
You know, Danielle, I've worked with you for many years, and I always, when there's one of these in-person, well, specifically my memory is of the in-person events. I'm talking about the face-to-face, right? Because we're still getting face-to-face, even if we're all over the world. But when I see people, when I see them light up, when I see them step out from behind the facade that they put up without even knowing that they're doing it, and they start to form the belief in their heads that what they have to say matters, and that they are able to communicate in a way that does justice to like what's inside of them to say. I see that happen every time, and I'm so excited to see it at the Speaker Superpower event.
I'm so excited too. I'm excited for all the stories I'm going to hear, all the new people I'm going to meet, and the courage. In these events, I always see so much courage. People come and they're scared, and they show up and they share what they have to say. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful, honoring thing to be witness to. So thank you all so much. Thank you to my wonderful speakers. We will see you over the next 3 days. And thank you everyone for watching. And we hope to see you there. The link is in the doobly-doo. And so we'll see you at the Ignite Your Speaker Superpower event. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Woo!